Hello, I'm Bood and welcome to the channel and welcome to Can Anyone Win with Manchester City. Now, as always, thanks for joining me. Hit that thumbs up, it's a massive help. Get involved in the comments, subscribe if you're new, go and check out all my other videos after this if you haven't already. Love you long time. And if you want to potentially become part of a future FM22 custom club series, just like last year, you might want to become a patron. Not only will you help the channel, but you get involved in the series. You'll find a link to my Patreon down below in the description. Now, what's this video about? Well, it's kind of come around just for me thinking to myself at work and after making some of my recent experiments, especially my hashtag out series where we looked at managers who were potentially up for the chop. Looked at the bookies' favourites to see who could take over and see how well they did. I also made a video recently called BIELSA Ball, and doing all these experiments, one unfortunate thing as a Manchester United fan that I kept on seeing is Manchester City are of course very successful under Pep and under some of the other managers. So I was thinking to myself, can anyone win with him? Anyone? Does this game really care about the manager? Does it matter about the manager? Really? It might do. But, you know, you expect it to, motivating players, tactics, going head to head with other top class managers when they're not top class. Does it matter? I've never tried to see if it actually does. So I want to know. Maybe you want to know. And we're going to find out today. Now, if you've seen the thumbnail, you'll have seen three managers. One I've chosen and one I went to kind of an expert to choose the other two. And we'll look at them in more detail in a minute. So hopefully going to stay tuned. And I can't wait to see what happens. I've simulated 3 seasons. So I don't know either. Are they going to crash and burn? Or are they going to win it all? We'll find out. Let's get into it. So as with my other videos, I usually just run a simulation once for each and every manager. I think that's fair. You can run simulations over and over again and get different results. But I like to have a set standard. Now with this is of course FM21, but I am using an updated database, transfer deadline day database, and what I've done this time is from my Marcelo Bielsa video I've used the standard simulated season because I thought it was a great platform. Because Manchester City and Pep win the Premier League, they won the FA Cup beating West Ham 1-0, and they also won the Carabao Cup beating West Ham again 2-1. So I wanted to use this because it's, you know, like I said, I've run many simulations now. City often win a league. I've seen United win a couple, Liverpool win a few. City tend to win most things. So we did a domestic treble on here, Pep, with his Manchester City squad. Again, like the other videos, I've turned off the first transfer window, so these managers will only get the January window. I just thought this was a great platform to start from because these guys are not Pep. Can they actually do anything? Well, let's take a look at the 3 managers I've chosen. And we're going to start here, of course, with Manchester City and our first manager and my choice, Jim Gannon. So I've chosen Jim Gannon because I have a soft spot for County. I'd say they're my second team, mainly from when I started my YouTube channel. Stockport County treat me amazing. My very first ever series was a County. I've done another series with County. They let me come into the stadium. They've given me free gear, hoodies, shirts, all that stuff. And when I went on holiday this year to Withensea on a campsite, I met Jim. He was like 3 caravans down from me. Had a great chat with him for ages. What a ledge. He's such a nice fella. We had a selfie. I'll flash it up maybe if I can remember. And I think he's a very knowledgeable and good manager. He's been manager of County now 3 times. I think he should still be their manager if I'm perfectly honest, but you might not know this. County got a rich owner in. He's transformed the club. Edge of the Park looks amazing. But you know, he wanted his own people in, I suppose. But yeah, I like Jim Gannon. Now, when I was on holiday with him, he was reading a book from some famous AC Milan manager from the 80s. Do you remember when Milan were amazing? So he's always trying to learn and develop. Now he's only 51. Like I said, he's been county manager 3 times. He was a county player. He's been Motherwell manager, Peterborough manager, Port Vale manager, Northwich manager. Now in real life, when he left County, he was going to go to Oldham as some kind of youth role, but he's took the Hyde United job. So you might not know that, but Hyde United, non-league team, quite local to me, in like the Greater Manchester, more like Cheshire area. He's their manager, which is pretty cool. So I like Jim, and this is my choice. I want to see Jim Gannon in charge of Manchester City. So we look at his attributes, and they're not Pep's. We don't have to look at Pep's. We all know Pep. Pretty much every attribute is a green, which means it's like 18 or above. He is next level. But, you know, Jim's not a bad manager. Great with working with youngsters. Got a lot of discipline, determined. But obviously he's a non-league manager, really. So he's judging player ability. He's motivating. He's man management. Is he going to be able to handle top stars like all these three guys? Is he going to be able to do it? I don't know. I say he's going to crash and burn. Or does it? This is what I want to know. Does it actually matter who's in charge if you've got a great team that's got loads of money? Next up, we have Pete Wild, the current manager of Halifax. They're sitting third, I think, in the National League at its current moment. Only 3 points off the top. He's doing a fantastic job. Now, the reason I've chosen Pete and the next manager is because I've got a friend called Kyle Lord, who I've known for a good 4 years now. I met him when I did the Manchester Central series. He was the assistant manager. He went on to become Macclesfield Town coach. Now he's quit coaching. He's trying to be a full-time ref. But his knowledge is amazing. He knows every ref, every player, every manager. He's brilliant. So I asked him who he thought two of the youngest, best managers in the non-league, managers who he could see one day managing in the Football League. So this is the first guy he told me about, Pete Wild. Now Pete is a Stockport lad, which is pretty cool. Used to be a coach at Woodley Sports, was a player for them as well. Went on to be an under-18s coach at Oldham and got the job now. According to my mate Kyle, you know, he was unfortunate at Oldham. It's not the best well-run club. I do have a soft spot for Oldham. So that didn't really work out for him. He's gone to Halifax and he's doing a fantastic job. But again, like Jim, I'd say Jim's probably the best attribute manager we've got in this experiment. He's probably a step down. He's a non-league manager. He's 37 years old, for God's sake. What's he going to do at Manchester City? And finally, we're going to look at David McNabb. Now, you might never have heard of Dave, but, you know, his reputation in the non-league is really growing. His attributes are the weakest. I'd say Jim's looks the best. And you've got Pete next. David McNabb's looking like the worst out of them all. Only got his B licence. But this young manager has done wonders at Warrington Rylands. He's like the main reason they're climbing through the leagues. They won the FA Vars last season. And they're doing really, really well. People speak really highly of him. I think he's just signed a new contract. But, you know, people are talking about him like he could go on to become a great manager and go on into the Football League. But is he ready for Manchester City just yet? I mean, this is a perfect kind of example of someone. He's like the complete opposite of Pep on paper, but does the game really care? I don't know. And this is why I want to find out. And we're going to find out. So let's go back to my favourite, good old Jim Gannon, and see how he did in his season with Manchester City. Well, he didn't win the league and United won it by some distance. So you could instantly say, you know, he's not done that good, but he's finished second and he still looks like he's competed with the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea. Like I said, with simulations, you never know what you're going to get. It's quite nice to see Man United top of the league, but I don't think that's too bad. He did get knocked out of the Carabao Cup straight away on penalties. Although he got to the FA Cup final. That's pretty good. Getting beat by Wolves, though. No offence. Knocking out Chelsea didn't get beat off Wolves in extra time. So that's a little disappointing. Let's have a look at the game there. Ooh, Liam Delap scoring. Go on, giving youth a chance. I like that, Jim. But what I like even more is this. Jim Gannon, non-league manager of Hyde United in real life, took Manchester City all the way to the Champions League final. Looks a bit ropey in the group stage when they knocked Borussia Dortmund out, Bayern Munich out, bossed Chelsea, and then beat Inter in extra time to win a Champions League. Jim Gannon. In reality, that should not happen, should it? It shouldn't. So I don't think that's too bad. FA Cup final, wins the Champions League, second in the Premier League. He spent 19 million in total. He bought a young Brazilian I've never heard of, 17-year-old. He bought Nicolas de la Cruz, a 24-year-old from Uruguay. And he bought a young Bosnian, can't pronounce his name, 22 years old, for about 3.5. So, you know, he spent a bit of money. But, you know, it's not about that. I mean, he's used that same squad Pep has. He's not supposed to be as good, but he still achieved quite a lot. Yeah, I'm surprised because I don't know why, but you think if this game's real and the stats go against each other, shouldn't a manager like Jim just get battered all the time? So let's look at his Premier League results, and it was a bit dodgy at the start, but eventually Jim found his groove. Obviously they got beat off Manchester United, they got beat off Chelsea, so it's not looking too good at first. But then look at this. Beats Arsenal 1-0 there and goes on this immense run. Look at that, beating Liverpool, Spurs, and then he kind of lost it a bit towards the end, which ain't great. Drew with Manchester United, got beat off Chelsea, Got beat off Liverpool. So maybe when he came up against the big guys, he didn't always come out on top, but it's about 50-50-ish. Still done very, very well. For a manager that shouldn't do very well, really. And he did manage to pick up a manager of the month in January. I'm buzzing for you, Jim. Love him. And if you jump over to his tactics page, we can't read too much into it, but that's the formation he likes to play. Did it work? I don't know. I mean, he won it. It worked in Europe, didn't it? Winning the Champions League. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't expect him to completely crash and burn, but I also didn't expect him to maybe even finish a season. But he's still in charge. Now though, on to Pete Wild, who on paper looks a little bit poorer than Jim Gannon. Not when it came to the Premier League. This is what I mean with simulations. Man United here have finished 4th. Pete Wild won the league. Won the league. Raheem Sterling, leading goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne, best player. He won the Premier League. He got to the Carabao Cup semi-final, getting knocked out by a bigger team. No shame in that. And again in the FA Cup, just couldn't do it. Cristiano Ronaldo getting an early goal, knocking him out in the 4th. But then, look at this. He won the Champions League, so he's done better than Jim. He won the Premier League and the Champions League, right? Pep Guardiola spent £1 billion. Best manager ever. Can't win a Champions League in real life. Sack Pep off when Pep decides to go. Give Pete Wild a ring or Jim Gannon. They can win the freaking Champions League. No danger. Got through the group pretty well. Knocking out Bayern in style. Beat United. Fantastic. Paris Saint-Germain again. Looks close again, doesn't it? And then obviously Juventus in the final, winning on penalties. This though makes you wonder, because he's bought the same young Brazilian for the same amount of money. He also bought the same young Bosnian. Didn't make the 3 signings. Didn't buy the other player like Jim Gannon. So what does that tell you about the game then? I mean, the manager's obviously not doing it. The game does it, doesn't it? The director of football does it. I don't know. But managers of that quality can still do it at a high level. So does it really matter? Well, as we saw with Jim, I think he struggles sometimes against a big team. So maybe it does. Maybe when they go head-to-head with like a Klopp or Thomas Tuchel or whatever. But he had a better start to the season. Obviously won the league. Got beat off Arsenal, but he's beating Liverpool. He's going head-to-head with Klopp and beating him. Beat Manchester United. Which, you know, freaking hell. That's pretty good. Beat Man United again. Beat Spurs. Whereas Chelsea beat Chelsea. I mean, he's going up against top managers. He's not got the same tactical ability, but he's still doing well. A little old Pete Wild from Stockport. Only managed Oldham for a bit. Halifax Town jumps all the way up to Man City. Won Manager of the Year. Freaking year. And again, just a quick look at his formation. We can't go into depths with his full tactics. But yeah, not a bad little formation. Not quite like that, to be fair. And it worked for him. Now we go to our last manager, David McNabb. Easily the worst manager on paper. Forget real life or his promise. Easily the worst manager on paper. When his attributes are on the floor, he's managed to come second in the Premier League, which is still really respectable. 10 points clear of Klopp and Liverpool. He got to the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup, getting beaten by Chelsea. Klopp got him though in the FA Cup, knocking him out in the 4th round. 2-0 goals from Jota and Thiago. But then seriously, if you want to win the Champions League, City, hire yourself a promising young non-league manager. I mean, Jim Gannon's not that old, isn't he? He's early 50s, isn't he? But still, all 3 of them have won the Champions League. Gets through the group there, knocks out Paris Saint-Germain, beats Atletico Madrid, then AC Milan, and then beats the mighty Bayern Munich 3-0 in the final. He's supposed to be rubbish. I know he's got great players. I know they've all got great players. They've got the same freaking players. But really? And this says a lot, doesn't it? I think. I mean, keep signing the same players, so the game chooses it. Obviously, the managers, because it says that, doesn't it? Judging player ability. So obviously, City though got director of football. So I'm guessing they do it in game, and the manager has no say, really, because it's the same player and the same Bosnian 22-year-old. Although there's a little difference this time because he signed this chap. Philip Soares, midfielder, 22-year-old. But yeah, crazy man. I think that's mental. Unlike the other 2, he didn't manage any manager of the month or even manager of the year, unfortunately. And if we look at some of the fixtures in the Premier League, no, he didn't start too bad. Not as bad as Jim. Got beat off Leeds. Bielsa bossed him there, but he beat Chelsea. I mean, he's going up against Tuchel. Drew with Liverpool, got beat off United. As Leicester, look at that. Leicester, a great team, beat them 3-2. Again, I know they've all got top players, but you're going head to head with apparent tactical geniuses who've got attributes through the ceiling. Beat Chelsea, got beat off United. There's a Liverpool game he drew. So fair play. And I mean, this just really makes me think about, did the managers really matter on this game? When you're going up against a Klopp on the game, you're thinking, oh, tactics, I've got so many tactics out, because does that matter? Does it? I want to know what you think in the comments. And if we look at Dave's tactics, you see a lot of similarity really with all three. They're similar, just with tweaks at the top end. They all play 3 at the back with wing backs, but Jim had 2 in the middle and 1 behind, 2 strikers. Pete had 3 in the middle with just 2 strikers, whereas Dave had 2 in the middle and 2 behind, a lone striker. So yeah, very interesting. And this is, I love how they've all won the Champions League. I absolutely love it. So there we go, that is the end. And that video basically is just my curiosity. It just popped in my head. If you put someone like that with really low attributes in charge of someone like Man City with top players, will they do well? Will they crash and burn? Don't get me wrong, he didn't win the domestic treble, but they all won the Champions League. Pep didn't do that on my simulation with him. One of them won the league. They did really well, I think, beating big teams, going up against top managers and coming out on top more often than not, really. So, you know, it does make you think, and I know it's just a little fun experiment. It's nothing to take too serious, but I don't know what I suppose the outcome would be. I thought at least one of them would get the sack, all 3 of them are still in the job. I mean, it would be kind of interesting to see how far they could all go. How long would they stay there? Would they get better and better? Each one of them was started doing coaching badges while they were at City. But I think, yeah, that's kind of shocked me in a way. Makes you really wonder about this game sometimes. Parts of it are so realistic, sometimes parts of it aren't, because in reality, would any of these guys do well? Would they command that kind of respect? But yeah, maybe you think it's a load of crap. Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new. Like I say, go and check out my other videos. Want to become a patron? The link is down below in the description. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Stay happy, stay safe, and booed. Bye-bye.